Yo, what's good, guys? KosherTech here. So today we got some more Chinese RGB fans to review. Let's go. Now these bad boys are from Antec. These are the Infinity fans. You cop them on Amazon. I want to say like 40 bucks for a 3-pack. Now I got basically 6 fans, so it's gonna run you around $80. Listen, box presentation is pretty whack. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Shit's just whack. But anyways, all the specs and whatever I miss is gonna be in the description below. These do go up to 1500 RPM. They only come in black, no white, no bueno. What else I missed? Presentation is whack. But anyways, let's unbox these bad boys. I wish Antec. Now it has this infinity mirror design. So, oh wow, look at that. Everything. Oh, yo, listen, man, hold up. I gotta say something about Antec, yo. Antec never fails on their like compartmentalization in fans, yo. All right, because I was about saying their presentation because the box presentation is just trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. But because there's like no specs, it just says here, in power we trust. Like, WTF is that? Antec RGB 120mm fans. Like, anyways, but like, look at this. Like, everything is broken down. This is beautiful. Beautiful. And all the accessories and stuff are here. Wow. Oh. All right. So I got to apologize. Quick apology to Antec. They tricked me. I got tricks, yo. Anyways, everything is broken down. You know, same thing here. We can just like unpack. It's the same presentation. If you take it out here, all the fans, the same shit here, basically. But wow, okay, so all the specs are broken down basically in the box here. Wow, okay, now I wish they would have just made the box look like this instead of just a basic box like this. But very nice. This is dope. I'm talking like, look, beautiful. We have the Infinity. So the Infinity mirror is the 8K mirror. It just, I don't know what it is we're about to see right now. So this, you have this mirror and then you have all these RGBs here. It looks pretty dope. Rubber grommets there. For specs, for model, we have Infinity, which I said, aRGB, fan type PWM 120mm dimensions, sleeve bearing, that's the bearing type, fan speed, 1500 RPM. So these are not PWM. I believe they just run at constant 1500 RPM. So you can't basically lower them to 800, 1200, 1000. So they're just gonna run in constant at 1500 RPM. Airflow 58. So anyways, all of the specs here are gonna be in the description below. Very beautiful. Let's take this out. Oh wow. Okay, so this, they feel hella cheap. I gotta be a buck with you cats. So I gotta peel this. This is the mirror thing. They feel hella cheap. Check this out, though. This is the mirror thing you guys get. It's like, I don't know, it's some sort of... Anyways, but yeah, you have your... there's not really that much of a flex. They're not using their premium plastics, such as plastic that they used, I believe, in the Prism X and in the Prism series fans. This is more, I want to say, in the more entry level plastic, you know. But you have your rubber grommets over here, basically damping out the sound. We have our 4-pin it is a PWM header over here, and then you have your aRGB. Now I'm not sure if they work with all the aRGBs. I believe they do. We will have that in the description just to make sure. Let's check this out as well. Okay. They didn't give us. Man, they didn't give us a remote. They want us to use all of that. Okay, so this does work with Gigabyte motherboards. You have this for Gigabyte motherboards only. Over here, your VDG connector. So this does work with Gigabyte motherboards. So I believe it works with all the motherboard manufacturers, your Asus, Gigabytes, ASRock's, MSI, whoever I might have missed. But basically works. It's typical basic Antec hub. So this is the same hub you get in the Prism X series and the Prism series. We have your LED speeds over here. We have up to how many fans? 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so up to 5 fans. See, this is the same that they did. I could actually daisy chain them, I believe. But we have, this hub itself supports 5 fans. So we have here 1 through 5. Now, these are the 3-pin, right? These are the 3-pin aRGBs for the lights, right? And then the other side, these are the 4-pin PWM fan speed, right? So if you just have these plugged in, your fans are going to spin, but there's not going to be no lights. You know, this is why you need to plug in the aRGB here for the lights and the fans when they're spinning to show. And this is powered via SATA over here, so you're going to plug in your SATA. And then you have your 2-pin reset switch. So from the reset from your motherboard, you're going to pop that out in the case restart button. So when you're going to press the restart button, your lights, instead of your computer restarting, the lights are going to basically change colors. And then we have the, okay, they are PWM. You have this 4-pin PWM. So they are PWM. I don't understand. So I guess the max is 1500, and I'm not sure exactly what the minimum is. It doesn't list it there. But very simple. So the installation would be something like, all right, so installation is going to be a pretty self-explanatory process. So as you see here where it's listed fans 1 through 5, as it says here, fan 1, what you're going to do is you're going to plug in this 4-pin fan header over here, right? And then what you're going to do is literally on the other side, you're going to put in the 3-pin aRGB. And again, the 3-pin aRGB is when the fan is spinning, right? When the motor is spinning, the lights are not going to show because you have to plug in the aRGB. When you're going to plug in the aRGB, the RGB lights are basically going to start showing. So this is a 2-step process. And then here on the hub, you have your different modes to switch to different modes. And then your LED fan speeds, so different mode. And that's basically it. And then, like I said, reset goes here. And when you have a gigabyte, this additional step. Now, with this is a, this is basically a, so this is a few ways you could do it. So you could use this, essentially, you're gonna plug it into this, where it says fan PWM. So when you plug this into fan PWM, you have 2 options here. So you could use this wire if you're gonna want the aRGB functionality to work straight from the motherboard, right? You're gonna use this aRGB wire. Now, if you don't want that, you essentially don't need to plug this in. All the aRGB colors are gonna be coming through the hub. Now, this 4-pin over here, this 4-pin, right? 4-pin, and then this 3-pin. This 4-pin over here is gonna be for the fan speed. So you're gonna plug this into any of your PWM 4-pin connectors, usually your CPU fan header or your other 4-pin PWM headers. So you can go into your BIOS, you can play with the curves, or you can play with different fan speeds and whatnot. But very self-explanatory, very simple process. And like I said, you could take all these fans out and just basically continue them. Now, in my case, I have 6 fans. What I could do is I could daisy chain them, but I'm not sure if I have the wire. So what I might do, I might just do an extra ghetto setup. I might take an additional hub and just plug it in like that. I'm not sure, but I think I might have a different splitter. But I don't know. I will play around with it. If you guys do have the same problem, what you could do is you could just use a splitter, a fan splitter and an aRGB splitter, and then you could just use the single hub and just use that splitter, and you guys are going to be good to go from there. But anyways, let me test them out. I mean, this mirror thing looks pretty, this mirror thing will be actually pretty cool. How many blade design? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fan blade design. So looks pretty cool, looks pretty interesting. Let me get them rolling. Let's go. All right, so I got the fans running right now at 1,000 RPM. I gotta say, at 1,000, they are actually really, really well whisper quiet. They're doing a hell of a job at this RPM. Let's turn them up. So now this is running at 1,300 RPM. So we got 46 decibels. They don't sound too bad, very manageable. Let's turn them up to max. Now you guys should be hearing this rattle sound. I'm not sure if it's the unit, the fan, but at max RPM, you do get a rattle sound from these fans at 1,500 RPM. The air cooler itself is running at 900 RPMs. Just the fans are switching on their PWM functionality. So yeah, at 1,500 RPM, you do have this rattle sound. Let me know if you guys have these fans already, if you're getting the same issue, which I am, at this max RPM. But anyways, let's run through the RGBs and my final thoughts about these fans. Let's go. So remember guys, at 1,500 RPM, it shouldn't actually make that much noise at all now. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's the unit in general. You know, if it does make that sound, let me know in the comments. But my unit obviously did, and it's very tedious. It's very annoying. So I would say, you know, no bueno for that. But overall, for the LED RGB colors, I have it set up to the reset switch. So every time I'm gonna press the restart button, the colors are gonna switch. But quickly go over the LED colors, the RGB colors. I mean, you have this mirror design. I mean, it is what it is. It's a cool design. I gotta say, it's pretty dope. I wish more Chinese, you know, or regular just fan manufacturers actually do make this mirrorless or mirror design. It's actually really dope. I can't really hate on that too much. But things that I would say for this unit, A, we don't get a remote control. I definitely don't like that. The hub only supports up to 5 fans. As you can see, my rear fan doesn't have the RGB functionality. I just have the fan spinning. I definitely don't like that. Also, another thing, remember, on the hub, it wasn't magnetic, nor they didn't give us Velcro, like a Velcro or double-sided tape. Bruh, like, come on, man. Also, they're $40, man. $40, bruh. They definitely not worth that, man. Next, we don't have brightness adjustment. Bruh, like, these guys, you know, they went a little too insane with the pricing for these fans. Me, personally, I would probably price them for a 3-pack, bruh, like between $25 to $30. Definitely not $40. Way overpriced just because for this mirror design. Also, there's no brightness adjustment. There's no, you have this speed LED and you could change the modes. That's basically it. But I can't, you know, lower the brightness, increase the brightness. I don't get none of that. And, you know, the effects, and they're not really that bright, to be honest. And the effects are, you know, you have these, you get a bunch of effects. I got to give props for the hub. You get a bunch of effects, but there's no rainbow effect. I couldn't find one. You have these, you know, whatever effects. And like I said, they're really not that bright whatsoever. You know, you're spending the money. If you guys like these fans, you're really spending the money on this mirror design. That's all you're spending the money, you know, for. These fans, I personally wouldn't probably recommend for the price point. There's no other feature that you're getting. Yeah, you know, they go up to 1500 RPM, but they get hella loud. You get some solid colors here that I just went through. Purple, orange. They're not bright. You get white, which is nice. And this is like their rainbow effect. And that's basically it. But like I did say, the mirror effect, I wish that going forward more fan manufacturers are gonna have, because it just does look dope. But definitely not for these fans, definitely not for the price. And they don't come even in white. And you get all these effects and whatnot. Not honestly worth it that much, guys. I mean, I wouldn't like go crazy for these fans. You know, there's other Chinese RGB fans which I've reviewed, which I would definitely recommend over these fans. Definitely check out the playlist. But yeah, these are these Antec mirrored RGB Chinese RGB fans, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, as always. But yeah, guys, I'm KosherTech. I'm gonna catch you cats next time. Deuces.